starting with the humble beginnings of the juice all the way up to today's iteration. I'm bringing you the Wilson Ultra 100 V5. Check it out. I'm going to go head on court, whack a few balls, and put this one through the ringer. Now for the string and tension on this racket, I couldn't resist going for the Luxon Eco Power. I think it pairs really nicely with a racket like this. If you're looking for someone who wants a little more of a heavier racket in that 300 gram range, so we're probably going to go with a poly, if not a hybrid of some sort. So the Eco Power is a great way to get a good bit of comfort, good bit of power as the name suggests. And of course, we all know by now with all the playtests that I'm involved in, there has to be some sort of fashion aspect to it. It has to match the racket in some capacity. So I think the blue, or rather the green from the Eco Power, kind of pulls out this sort of teal from the Wilson logo here. So I think the string pairs nicely in terms of the performance, but of course I think it also looks fantastic in the racket. So that's why we choose something like Eco Power. I strung it up here at about 50 pounds, which is a bit high for me, but that's just mostly because it's a power racket, so I have to help rein it in at least a little bit to make the playtest comfortable for me.
The Wilson Ultra 100 V5 is 300 grams, which equates to 10.6 ounces unstrung, with a swing weight of 322, making it 4 points head light with a balance point of 13 inches. It has a 100 square inch head size, as the name would suggest, a length of 27 inches, an open 16 by 19 string pattern, and a beam that goes from 24 up to 26 and back down to 24.5 millimeters. The stock grip is the Wilson Pro Performance, and while this racket mostly remained unchanged from its predecessors, with the exception of some beautiful and great technological innovations, it is still the standard bearer, but is no longer the heaviest of the regularly available Ultras, as it now sits below the Ultra 99 Pro.
Now every brand makes a racket like this in that 300 gram range, power racket, thicker beam, 16 by 19, all that sort of stuff. All these rackets fall into what I call a guilty pleasure racket. As someone who tends towards more control-oriented frames, this one is super fun to just clock balls with and just watch them zip past the baseline with insane amounts of pace. So for me, especially from the baseline, I felt myself having to slow down my strokes, rein it in, just to keep a rally going. Maybe if I'm fully warmed up and fully in the zone, I could rein in something like this. I can help tame the beast that is inside this racket. But for me, it just packed a little too much juice, if I may say, from the back of the court. So I felt myself really slowing down my strokes. But when I did, I very easily found depth and power and all the things you could possibly want. So maybe if I were to ever pick up a frame like this, I might have to juice back up my tension a little bit to help rein this in. Now, absolutely not surprisingly for me, my absolute favorite shot to hit with this racket had to be serves. Now, when Andy Roddick moved over from Babolat to join Team Wilson with the release of his podcast, I'm a little shocked that he didn't end up with an Ultra, even if he liked the ship, maybe they could have gotten him an Ultra paint job. But this racket is an absolute power machine. My serves were dropping like bombs, and I wasn't even trying that hard. So that's why I absolutely love this racket on serve. When there are no elements to deal with, there's no one hitting at me where I have to rush, there's no mixtures of paces, everything is within my control. I felt like this racket was super fun. So high sitters up at the net, overheads, sitting forehand, and absolutely the serves. I was able to smack them wide, cut them out wide. I could do anything I want. So for me, this is an absolute serving machine racket. And if I only hit serves all day, I would definitely switch to this racket. Now, where a racket like this tends to fall short, and I definitely experienced this myself, was up at net. I mean, if I really only felt super comfortable just blocking volleys back deep into the court, although I was able to pull out a finesse shot here and there, I really didn't feel super comfortable with it. I didn't feel the ball coming off the strings. It just sort of felt like a hit the string and left. So great for just blocking the ball, getting easy pace, pushing my opponents deep. But for the touch, the slice, the maneuvering, the feel, not quite there. But I can't knock the racket that much for it because that's not what it's designed for. So I think it's important whenever you're playtesting rackets and whenever you're choosing a racket, you have to recognize that everything is a game of trade-offs. So whereas I got super easy and fun power on a serve or from a sitting forehand, this racket wasn't super great when I had to hit touch shots or was caught late or anything like that. So definitely not my first choice as a volleyer's racket. So if you're more of a baseliner, this might be a better bet. But altogether, solid frame. And if you're just the person who just sticks the racket out and lets the racket, put the ball away, great. If you're someone with a little more touch and finesse, probably not your first choice.
This racket scored well in our Solow Sports review. As a powerful and vibrant frame, this racket is catered towards players who have a more modern game style, are fully healthy in that they have no wrist or elbow issues, and tend to hang out around the baseline trading ground strokes with their opponents. The ideal player for this racket has an NTRP rating of 3.0 or higher, and enjoys when their racket helps generate some pace for them at the expense of some control. Unless you have significant upper body strength, two-handed backhands are best for a racket like this. As this combination of weight, head size, string pattern, stiffness, and thickness is probably the most popular on the market today, there are a plethora of similar rackets including, but not limited to, the Babolat Pure Drive, the Yonex E-Zone 100, the Head Instinct MP, the Dunlop FX 500, the Technifiber TF X1 100, the Solinco Blackout 300, and the Diadem Nova 100. This racket is a must-try for any player working their way up through the ranks.
Now that just about wraps up our review of the Wilson Ultra 100 V5. Let us know in the comments, do you like this version? Do you like the one before? Were you a fan of the original Juice rackets? Let us know, and as always, we look forward to seeing you in the next video.